Clips.
Reinforcements arriving at Ukraine's revolutionary headquarters. Even as President Yanukovych was planning to offer his biggest concessions yet to the protesters, a public display of dissent against his rule. The EU flag, a new addition to their uniforms, a reminder of how these protests began in the first place.
The situation in Ukraine is so bad we decided to come to Kiev to show our support for the protests. We all made the decision to come ourselves.
We will arrive immediately with weapons and will give a professional counterattack with weapons. Believe me, I can fight. I served in Afghanistan.
Dozens of police from the west of the country have defected and this morning arrived in Independence Square to back the fight against the government. After marathon talks overnight between EU and Russian officials and the government, a possible deal has emerged to try and prevent more bloodshed. The president has promised a change to the constitution, with powers transferred from the presidency to the parliament, and perhaps most significantly, early presidential elections. Protesters are cautious though, and it's far from certain whether the men manning the barricades will accept the plan.
These are petrol bombs. The protesters are clearly ready for a fight. What matters to them is whether President Yanukovych remains in power. Until he goes, these demonstrations look set to go on, and the anger and division in this country could continue to grow.
Those divisions are just as stark in Parliament. Vitaly Klitschko, the boxer turned opposition leader and presidential hopeful, has been involved in plenty of fights and watched on as scuffles broke out between MPs arguing over the crisis. The government still blames the protesters for the violence. The country and the world is focused on events in Independence Square, and how the people across the country react will determine the fate of Ukraine.
Clips.